saying that UFO...
First chapter of Ezekiel. Go back and read it. You'll think you're on acid or something. And realize, too, it's the King James translation. He translated it from Aramaic, I believe. I'm sure somebody's going to correct me on that. I'm not a biblical philosopher. I just read it. Yeah, it's in there, and it talks about the visitor coming down. It describes the craft. It describes the landing gear. In some translations, like a traditional pad that comes out, like you've seen in the science fiction movies. I look at those stars in the sky, and those stars, the light left those stars before the time of Christ. That is the vastness of God's great universe. And honestly, do you think we're the best that God can do?
Saying that UFO...
First chapter of Ezekiel. Go back and read it. You'll think you're on acid or something. And realize, too, it's the King James translation. He translated it from Aramaic, I believe. I'm sure somebody's going to correct me on that. I'm not a biblical philosopher. I just read it. Yeah, it's in there, and it talks about the visitor coming down. It describes the craft. It describes the landing gear. In some translations, like a traditional pad that comes out, like you've seen in the science fiction movies. I look at those stars in the sky, and those stars, the light left those stars before the time of Christ. That is the vastness of God's great universe. And honestly, do you think we're the best that God can do?
All praises to the Most High Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rahaka, Kadash, double honors and salutations to the apostles and elders of great millstone. Shalom to the hopeful elect. Shalom to you, Akim and alcohol, so you children that believe on this word. Shalom to the speckled bird that scattered around the four corners of the globe. Also, big shout out to you brothers that's in the faith that's doing the work day in and day out, risking your life and freedoms to do so. Shalom to you. This is your brother Kalak Harkam back at you with another video. Make this quick. And obviously you see Ezekiel 1. I don't know what the hell they talking about. Or this guy's saying this is a spacecraft that came out of the sky and all of this stuff. And it had a track, or it had this lone thing that came out of it. We're just going to break it down the best we can through the scriptures, through precepts. Through thy precepts I get understanding. That's how we're going to do it. All right? Yeah, there's landing gear and stuff. So we're going to go to Ezekiel 1. Let's start from there. We might have to do a part 2, but we're going to start at the beginning. Now in Ezekiel 1:1. Now it came to pass in the 30th year, in the 4th month, in the 5th day of the month, as I was among the captives of the river of Shabar, that the heavens was open, and I saw a vision of the Most High God. Right there, so look, there's no July, or there's no Salakia, say July on the other side, but there's no Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's just talking about the 30th year in the 4th month in the 5th day. So that's how time went back in the day. Or according to the real how we tell time. We don't tell it by a calendar. These calendars were made up by first taking it back to Egypt. The Roman, Greek adopted the same customs. And they do the same thing. The vision of God. Now, if we go to the definition, or we go to the, if you want to work. I'm not sure what's wrong with it. Let's try this again. Well, Satan don't want the truth to come on. Let's kill the app. Salakia, forgive me. Still nothing? So what I wanted to say is the God there is Elohim. And how do you prove that? If you go to Genesis 1:1, in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. Let's see if it'll work here. Yeah, it worked there. And the word there is Elohim, but we know that's not true. It's Elohim. Because Allah means God. Hayim means plural, means more than one. When you say Akim or Akia or Akim makes it plural. Same thing with Allahayim. Allah, God, being plural, means rulers, judges, divine ones, angels, God. So it's talking about one, more than one. So here, in the beginning, God created the heaven, In the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. If we go to John, to back it up, John 1:1, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. The Word was the angels. And who's that top angels? That's Yahweh. The same was the beginning with God. So the beginning with God is the angels. So when it's saying Ezekiel 1:1, and I saw a vision of God. So I saw a vision of angels. I saw a vision of multiple angels coming out of heaven. I'm going to read it from the top again now. And it came to pass in the 30th, Salakia, and it came to pass in the 30th year, in the 4th month, in the 5th day of the month, as I was among the captives by the river of Chabar, that the heavens was opened, and I saw visions of Alahayim, plural gods. I saw multiple visions of the angels, or I saw visions of the angels. In the 5th day of the month, which was the 5th year of King Jehoiachin's captivity, the word of the Lord came expressly unto Ezekiel, the priests, the sons of Buzi, in the land of the Chaldeans, by the river of Chabar, and the hand of the Lord was there upon him. The Chaldeans, and this is the Babylonians. Ezekiel them and a lot of them was carried away captive in Babylon. The Chaldeans, the land of the Chaldeans, the elites. And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and a fire enfolded in itself, and a brightness was about it, and out of the midst thereof, as the color of amber, and out of the midst of the fire. Now, if we go to, we take it back, and I look, and behold, a whirlwind. What's that? Isaiah. Let's go to Isaiah 66 and 15. Isaiah 66 and 15. For behold, the Lord will come with fire, and his chariots like a whirlwind, to render his anger with fury and his rebuke with flames of fire. So that whirlwind, that chariot, Psalms 68, 17. The chariots of God are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them, as in Sinai in the holy place. So the chariots of God, remember God is Alahayim, the chariots of the angels are 20,000, even thousands of angels. The Lord is among them, as in Sinai in the holy place. Let's get another one. Psalms 104. Psalms 104 and 3. Who layeth the beams of his chambers in the waters, who maketh the clouds his chariot, who walketh upon the wings of the winds, who maketh his angels spirits, his ministers a flame and fire. So when we go back to Ezekiel, hold on, let's get one more. Was it Jude? Hold on. Okay, yeah. Jude 1 and 14. And Enoch also, the seventh from Adam, prophesied, saying, behold, the Lord cometh with 10,000 of his saints. Remember, 10,000 of his saints. I think, was there? Yeah, that's what I wanted. Behold, the Lord cometh with 10,000 of his saints. Salakia, to execute judgment upon all, and to convince all that are ungodly among them to all their ungodly deeds which they have ungodly committed, and all of their hard speeches which ungodly sinners have spoken against him. So we go back to Ezekiel 1 and 4. Like I said, I'm probably going to have to do a part 2. And I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north. You know what that whirlwind is. A great cloud. We know that cloud. The Lord rideth on a cloud. Hold on, let's get that real quick. Swift cloud. I think it's in Isaiah. Yeah, Isaiah 19:1. The burden of Egypt. Behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. Isaiah 19:1. So, and I looked, and behold, a whirlwind came out of the north, a great cloud, and a fire enfolded itself, and a brightness was about it, and out of the midst thereof as the color of amber, and out of the midst of the fire, amber is like a yellowish dark color, or like a yellow gold, or almost, but more yellow, a little bit darker than this. What did I say? Never mind. Also out of the midst thereof came the likeness of 4 living creatures. In their appearance they had the likeness of a man. So if we jump over here to the NLT, from the center, 1 and 5, from the center, Ezekiel 1 and 5, from the center of the cloud came 4 living beings that looked like human. So these creatures looked like they had the likeness of a man. So these creatures literally looked like men. Everyone had 4 faces, and everyone had 4 wings. And so 4 faces, that's just the power and the majesty of the Lord. The Lord can do anything out here. So don't try to put the Lord in a box because it's saying, oh yeah, 4 faces and 4 wings. And their feet were straight feet, and the soles of their feet were like the soles of a calf's foot, and they sparkled like the color of burnished brass. So they sparkled like the color of burnished brass. We know burnished brass is a copper color, and it's burnished. So they were dark. They had dark feet. So we know these were so-called looking black men that look like creatures with 4 faces and 4 wings. These are the angels. I did a video about the encounters. Y'all should check that out on Netflix, because people got many interpretations of what they saw, and trying to break it down what was going on. But burnished brass, and also it says, and the sole of their feet was like the sole of a calf's foot. Now if you go to Leviticus 11, you know the calf foot is a righteous animal that we can eat. What is it? 11:44. Leviticus 11:44. For I am the Lord Yahweh Bahashim Yahushua, your God. Ye shall therefore sanctify yourselves, and ye shall be holy, for I am holy. Neither shall ye defile yourselves with any manner of creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. For I am the Lord that bringeth you up out of the land of Egypt to be your God. Ye shall there be holy, for I am holy. So we know that a clean beast is a calf, because it cheweth the cud. And it's not it's cloven footed and cheweth the cud. Leviticus 11:3, whatsoever parteth the hoof and is cloven footed and cheweth the cud, among the beasts you shall eat. So a calf is a righteous animal that you can eat. Let's go back to Ezekiel. Ezekiel 1. Ezekiel 1 and 8, and they had the hands of a man under their wings and under their 4 sides, and they 4 had their faces and their wings were joined to one to another. They turned not when they went everyone straight forward. So these wings, let's get a precept real quick. Ezekiel the 10th chapter about the faces. Ezekiel 10:21. Everyone had 4 faces apiece, and everyone 4 wings. And the likeness of the hands of a man was under their wings, and the likeness of their faces was the same faces which I saw by the river of Chabar. Their appearance and themselves, they went everyone straight forward. If I could start at 20, this is the living creature that I saw under the God of Israel by the river of Chabar, and I knew they were the cherubims. Let's look at that word cherubims up. An angelic being. So these was angelic beings. We knew there was the angels. This is what these people are saying that they can't get over. They don't know what's going on. Verse 10. As for the likeness of their faces, they had four, and had the face of a man and the face of a lion on the right side, and the face of an ox on the left side, and they also had the face of an eagle. Now, the face of a lion, I think we can get that in Proverbs 28:1. The wicked flee, but no man pursueth, but the righteous are bold as lions, or as a lion. So we know the lion is a strong animal. So is the eagle. What's that? Deuteronomy 28:49. Deuteronomy 28:49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from afar, from the end of the earth, as swift as an eagle flieth, a nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand. As swift as a eagle. Let's look at that word swift real quick. Oh, they don't have it in here. Salakia. But we know what swift means. It means fast moving, quickly, rapidly. Let's go back. Ezekiel 1. Salakia. So I believe there's another precept, Lamentations 4. Lamentations 4:19. Our persecutors are swifter than an eagle of the heaven. They pursue us upon the mountains. They laid wait for us in the wilderness. So, like I said, Ezekiel 1. Where was I? Okay, Ezekiel 1:10. As for the likeness of their faces, they had the face of a man and the face of a lion on the right side, and they four had the face of an ox on the left side, and they had they four also had the face of an eagle. Ox is a righteous animal as well. Thus were the faces. Their wings were stretched upward. Two wings of everyone joined one to another, and they covered their bodies. And they went everyone straight forward. Whether the spirit was to go, they went, and they turned not where they went. What's that? Because these angels they have angelic power. We don't have the same power as the angels do. 15 and 1 Corinthians 15 and 38. 1 Corinthians 15 and 38. But God giveth it a body as it have pleased him, and to every seed his own body. All flesh is not the same flesh, but there is one kind of flesh of men, another flesh of beasts, another flesh of fishes, and another of birds. There are also celestial bodies and there are also terrestrial bodies. But the glory of the celestial is one and the glory of the terrestrial is another. So these angels are in celestial bodies that's flying around. That's why they're able to do all of this and had all of this power. Because the Lord gave it to them. Verse 12, and they went every one straight forward, whether the spirit was to go, and they went, and they turned not when they went. As for the likeness of the living creatures, their appearance was like burning coals of fire, and like the appearance of lamps, it went up and down among the living creatures, and the fire was bright, and out of the fire went forth lightning. Revelation 4 and 5. And out of the throne proceeded lightning and thundering and voices, and there were 7 lamps of burning before the throne, which are the 7 spirits of the Most High. So these are spirits. These angels having power, lightning, thundering, voices. It's all the magic. It's all goes back to the power of the Lord. These angels ain't no joke. It went up and down the creatures in fire bright. Out of the fire went forth lightning, and the living creatures ran and returned as the appearance of the flashing of lightning. Just read about the flashing of lightning. I think it's another one in Revelation 15. Not yet. I think we got there just yet. As I beheld the living creatures, behold, one wheel upon the earth by the living creatures with 4 faces. One wheel upon the earth, that wheel that's on the earth, that chariot. The appearance of the wheels and their work was likened to the color of beryl. I believe that's a green color. Precious stone or semi-precious gem, yellow jasper or other yellow-colored stones. Perhaps a chrysolite. Perhaps topaz, a gem, yellow jasper. Hold on. Okay, so it's this color. I don't know if I thought it was green. Hold on. Let's do this. See, yeah, that's the beryl minerals. Species come in a variety of colors: pink, red, green, blue, brown, and black. Pure beryl is colorless, but is frequently tinted by impurities. Possible colors are green, blue, yellow, pink. So yeah, it can be any one of those colors, you know? Oh, this don't want to work. What was it, 15? Or 16, appearance of the wheels and their work was likened to color of beryl, so we know that can be a lot of colors. And they 4 had one likeness in their appearance, and their work was as it were a wheel in the middle of a wheel. So You literally seen a flying saucer, look like a wheel in the middle of a wheel. Zechariah 4. And 10. For who have despised the day of small things, for they shall rejoice and shall see the plummet in the hand of Zerubbabel. With those 7, they are the eyes of the Lord, which run to and fro in the whole earth. It's talking about those angels. Those angels, Ecclesiastes 10 and 20. You know, that give the messages back. Also, Daniel 7, verse 10. Daniel 7 and 10. A fiery stream is issued and came forth, and before him thousands and thousands ministered unto him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him, and a judgment was set, and the books were open. Verse 9, Salaki, I should have read that first. I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the ancients of days did sit, whose garments was white as snow, and the hair of his head was like pure wool, with his throne like the fiery, and his wheels of burning fire. All right, Shalom, I'm back. Ezekiel 1 and 17, when they went up, they went up their 4 sides, and they turned not when they went. As for their rings, they were so dreadful, Salakia. As for their rings, they were so high that they were dreadful, and their rings were full of eyes around about them. 4. And that's talking about the windows that's on the chariot. The eyes are full of eyes around them. That's talking about the windows that was on the chariot, because those windows is going to be likened it to the chariots of salvation, because when the elect is beamed up into these chariots, they're going to be able to look out of the windows of the chariots and see the destruction that's happening on the planet Earth everywhere, and they're going to, when they be up in those chariots. I think it's, let me see something real quick. Hold, bear tight, hold tight. So Slovakia is it 15? Let's just go back. I was looking for something. It's at the 17th verse. Or 18th verse. As for their rings, they were so high that they were dreadful, and their rings were full of eyes around about them 4. And when the living creatures went, the wheels went by them, and when the living creatures was lifted up from the earth, the wheels lifted up too. Wheresoever the spirit was to go, they went. Thither was their spirit to go, and the wheels were lifted up over against them, for the spirit of the living creatures was in the wheels. In other words, these chariots just went wherever the angels went, wherever the chariots went. They was in unison. They was flying with each other in unison. Wherever the chariots went, that's where the angels went. Whatever the angels went, that's where the chariots went. They're in unison. When those went, these went. And when these stood, these stood. And when those were lifted up from the earth, the wheels were lifted up over against them, for the spirit of the living creatures was in the wheel. Like I said, they were on the same accord. And the lightness of the firmament upon the heads of the living creatures was in the color of terrible crystal, stretched forth over their heads above. And under the firmament were their wings straight, and one towards another. Everyone had 2 which covered this side, and everyone had 2 which covered on that side, their bodies. So, and under the firmament, now I believe it's Revelation 15 chapter. That's what I was thinking about in my head. I didn't want to lose it. Revelation 15:1, and I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues, for them and them is filled up the wrath of the Most High. And I saw there was a sea of glass mingled with fire, and what's that sea of glass mingled with fire? That's the nuclear missiles. And them that had gotten the victory over the beast and over his image and over his mark. Who's the beast? That's the Salakia, I'm drawing a blank. That's the Roman Empire coming back in power. The image is the New World Order, and the mark is obviously the RFID chip. And over the number of his name, and standing in the sea of glass, having the harps of the Most High. And they sang the song of Moses, the servant of the Most High, and the song of the Lamb, saying, Great and marvelous are thy works, Lord God Almighty. Just and true are thy ways, thou King of saints. And that's the elect standing on that over the firmament, watching this place burn. Ezekiel 1, and I think I was on 20. Salakia 22, and the likeness of the firmament upon the heads of the living creatures was as the color of terrible crystal stretched forth over their heads above, and under the firmament were their wings straight, and one towards the other. Everyone had 2, which covered on this side, and everyone had 2, which covered on that side, their bodies. And when they went, I heard the noise of their wings like the noise of a great waters, as the voice of the Almighty, and a voice of speech, as the noise of a host. When they stood, they let down their wings. And there was a voice from the firmament that was over their heads when they stood and had let down their wings. And above the firmament that was over their heads was the likeness of a throne, as the appearance of sapphire stone, and upon the likeness of the throne was the likeness of appearance of a man above it. That's the Most High on this throne, above those chariots. Like it said in Daniel the 7th chapter, we read it earlier. And I saw the color of amber. Remember, amber is a deep yellow, like a yellow is a darker yellow. The appearance of fire around about it, from the appearance of his loins, even upward, and from the appearance of his loins, even downward. I saw it where the appearance of fire it had brightness about it, around about, as the appearance of a bow that's in a cloud in a day of rain. So was the appearance of the brightness round about. This was the appearance of the lightness of the glory of the Lord. And when I saw it, I fell upon my face, and I heard a voice of one that spake. And so, like I said, that's the end of that. I hope you were edified. I hope you got something out of it. I hope it kind of connect the dots, the elect to understand. I hope I was able to break it down, the best way possible for the elect of the nation of Israel, because they're the only ones that's going to really get it. But if we had to recap, the angels, they coming in vehicles. They had faces. There was the likeness of a man they had man hands. We know they were dark-skinned. We know they come in vehicles. We know, following the precepts of how the angels fly in the waters, they do a lot. But like I said, I hope you was edified. And on to the next. Shalom. Hope to see you on the next video. Shalom.